Often fathers do not think that they need to be taking care of the kids. They want to farm out the child care to someone else because they think that they don't have enough time for the kids. They have other things to do. But here is the hidden cost of outsourcing parenting or fatherhood to someone else. And these ideas are super important for your life as a father. Now, um, oftentimes, I go to meet different people. I'm thinking of one guy specifically, someone I bought a house from. He goes out into his garage and goes hibernates and kind of like he uses his garage as his man cave. And now his kids come and go and run around sometimes, but they're off doing their own things sometimes. It's like instead of spending more time with his kids, he's isolating himself from their family in his man cave. And so I'm scratching my head a little bit. It's like, how do you have influence on your kids if you're isolating yourself from them? Um, or let's say you are a workaholic, you're working 70 hours a week. You might have to work 70 hours a week or 80 hours a week for a few years to get out of a rut in your life. That's not the issue. The issue is this continuous, I choose to stay away from my kids because I don't know how to connect with them. The key here, and I wanted to just make a side note here, is that connecting with your kids is the easy part. It's not the hard part. So many times guys think it's so hard to connect with the kids. The kids are the easiest people on earth to connect with. All you have to do is talk to them. All you have to do is play with them. All you have to do is give them, play with them. I mean, you don't have to give them stuff. You just give them your time. That's it. Like, there's not that hard. You're like, well, I don't know how to interact with them. Well, you don't have to. I mean, like, you just sit there and have fun with them, and it's not like a super hard job. So, I just want to take that objection away right off the bat. But my main point here is that these are the hidden costs of not having time with your kids or the outsourcing fatherhood to someone else. And so I'm going to go through three big ones that I see in the world around me. The first one is the loss of influence. Like I said, a lot of times dads are like, especially when the kids are small, I don't know how to take care of this child. I don't know what to say to him. I don't want to say to her. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do with her or him? Well, the problem with doing that and you go doing something else is that you often want to have a relationship 10 years later, 15 years later. But by that time, when the child is older and can have more of a adult conversation with you, all of a sudden they are not interested in you anymore. I have some kids, and right now I have a toddler who is about 3 years old, and he is very much daddy's boy right now. Now, when he gets a couple years from now, 5, 6, 7, he's still going to want me, but he's going to find other people to play with as well. But he still wants me right now, and I want to have this stronger relationship if I start building it right now with him, if I spend the time with him. Now, when the kids are younger, from 0 to 1 or 0 to 2, oftentimes, mommy is the main figure in their life that they really connect with. It's just child psychology. But they eventually want to learn, like, okay, daddy, now that I'm a male, especially if a boy, I'm a male, I have to connect with my dad. And the girls need a fatherly figure as well for other reasons. But you as a father have to put your time into the child's life. And this is not quality time. I'm not talking about quality time here. I'm not saying you need to go to all their sports events. I'm not saying you have to do all these things with your kids. I'm saying this is invite the kids into your life. If you're doing something, invite them into your life. Oftentimes, and I don't do this as much. I'm hoping to do this more as I get older and a little more mature. I'm doing it a little bit now, but I'm bringing the kids along with me with our real estate opportunities. So we have some rental properties, if you don't know that already, if you're new here. And so I bring them with me on the real estate journey. And not every time, obviously, if it's going to be a long, heavy day, no, they're not coming with me. They're staying home. But if it's going to be a shorter period of time, I bring them along with me. Invite them into your life. You can stay home in the evenings. Shut the videos off. Shut the TV off. Shut the movies off. Shut the gaming off. If you're doing all these things, you're segregating yourself from your children or your children from you. So you're less close to your kids later on in life if you are so distant from them when they're younger. That's number one, and that's less influence. And the second, with that influence idea, is that you have less influence, is that you have less likely to have a long-term impact. The child's time of mature, the time of influence, the time of being influenced by someone is when they're a baby to 5 years old or so. around that age range is when they're the most impacted by people. Now, obviously, the rest of the life is super important too. I mean, you can be influenced by age 10, 12, 15, 20. But your greatest cultural upbringing and structure is that's where they're learning the most absorbing ideas. So, what you say around your kids is super important, but you being around your kids, being a good example and teaching the right things is going to be super, super important. So, you have less likely to have this impact on your child's life if you try to outsource your kids into someone else besides you and your wife. And that's I'm assuming you're married, you have a family here. Obviously, not everyone has that situation, but that's optimal. And if you don't have that, you need to try to strive for that with your children. Try to get your relationship together as a husband and wife. The second thing I want to point out. So the first thing is you have less influence. The second thing is super important is expenses. Now, most of us do not make $1 million a year. If you make $1 million a year, you probably could drop this argument. Now, you have the influence in the next argument too, but if you're making millions of dollars a year, you can get away with, outsourcing fatherhood to someone else. You miss out, and the child misses out on a lot of things, but you have the financial means to actually pay someone to do something. Oftentimes, to have someone else take care of a child is extremely expensive, and you send mom off to work, or you stay and you go to work, and both of you are just sending the kid to a babysitter. To the amount of money it costs for that, it's crazy expensive. It's often better to have one of you stay home. Oftentimes, mom, stay home with the child. You're there as often as much as possible too, and especially when you are there, you are there. Like, maybe you have to work, but when you are home, you are with the family, not just on the gaming PC. So my point in this cost idea here is that outsourcing fatherhood is extremely, or parenthood is extremely expensive. So instead of doing that, work as a team, husband and wife team, to try to provide a safe space for your child, a shelter from the storms of the world. This is super important, is that the home should be this safe shelter that they always know that they have the confidence to come home and feel comfortable coming home because they know they're protected from the storms of the world. So sheltering your kids is not a bad idea. There's a stigma in society that sheltering your kids is horrible. No, it's not. And if anybody ever says that, they have the slightest idea what they're talking about. You should shelter your kids just like you shelter your kids from snowstorms, rainstorms, or tornadoes and hurricanes. You need to shelter your kids from the bad ideas from society, and just as much or more so from the bad ideas of society and bad people, bad kids, bad adults, whatever. You need to be a parent who shelters your kid from the bad things, especially when they're younger. When they get older, now's the time to start training them how to deal with those things so they can shelter other people, including their future family, hopefully. But that's down the road. Right now, we're talking about younger kids. From 0 to 18. 0 to 15, 0 to 16. I'm talking about kids that you're raising, the raising stage. So, got on a little tangent there about expenses, but yes, it's expensive to send your kids out to someone else to babysit them or take care of them or be a father to them. It's much, much better if you, as husband and wife, take care of the kids. You have much more, like I said, influence, and the expenses are much less. The third and final thing that I want to talk about today, and there could be many other ideas as well that we could talk about. But before I get to that, though, let me just say, if you like this video, please like and subscribe. Hit the bell button. I love to see you here every time I have a video. I do work hard making these things. I take time out of my life to do this. And I enjoy this. So if you do like this, please follow. Also, if you are wanting, especially as a father, if you're wanting some chat and talk about stuff, I'm here to help you, or you help me. We can talk about stuff. What I'm thinking about is, if there's a link down below, as long as there's a link down below for a free half-hour conversation, feel free to click it, and you can sign up on, and we can have a Zoom call and have a chat for a half hour. If you want to have more conversation of that, we can talk about that as well. That'd be more of a paid situation. But if you want to have a free conversation, I'd be more than happy to do that. Take time out of my life. I do that already. I talk to a lot of guys already. So this is something that I enjoy doing. I help guys figure out some things and answer some questions, hopefully, for them. So and hit some of the big areas of their life. There's a number of big areas that we really need to hit. And if you get those big areas in the right order, all of a sudden your life becomes a little more successful. And that's where I like to really look at. And that's whenever I talk to guys, those are the big items. So if you want to have a conversation with me, and if there's a link down below to sign up for schedule a time to have a conversation, is there. Is the invitation still here? Maybe 20 years later, I might not be there, but right now it is in 2025, winter of 2025. And lastly, going back to my 3 parts here that I was talking about, why is the hidden cost of outsourcing fatherhood is kids with being outsourced, do not have this stable home life, this family life, when they have a tempestuous upbringing and childhood, and all sorts of people in their life influencing them and impacting them, and they don't have this firm foundation, they're less likely to have a strong foundation, and they have different struggles with emotional issues and social issues and psychological issues. Now, this is not to criticize them; it's to criticize us as adults. If we're studying the framework for their failure, now they don't have enough issues the way it is, psychologically, sociologically, emotionally, relationally. They don't have so many issues the way it is. Just because we're human, all of us deal with the same types of things. We're all struggling with different things. I mean, think about this: with Adam and Eve, perfect life, pretty much. They had everything they ever wanted. They had each other, and they go sin. Okay, so they sin. They eat the fruit, and then their kids. Within one generation, one kid's killing another kid. Crazy, right? It's going to be tough the way it is. So as a parent, let's try to really work hard to help our children and be there for them, because they are going to be already facing all sorts of crazy situations with other people or themselves. And if our parents are not setting them up rightly or as best we can, shame on us. Shame on us. So kids with this outsourcing mentality of the parents, when they are outsourced, they're more likely to face different issues in their life with social and psycho issues more. And that's not to say they're crazy. That's not my point. I'm just saying that technically, um, the harder to connect with people, especially both men and women, both boys and girls. I mean, girls really need a father figure in their life to give them that foundation and that confidence that they are valuable, immensely valuable. I mean, there's so many people that I know about, different girls that have grown up into adulthood, and they had not had this when they were babies, and then as they grew up into childhood, and um, they're struggling, just struggling to say the least. I mean, I think in a number of cases, people that we're helping right now, as we're talking about, we're helping right now, um, different people that are struggling with these situations, that have been abused and not had that good fatherly figure to help give them the support, the guidance, and what a good man should look like. And that's what a father should be doing. And same with the boys. Like, if you don't have a good model, a role model, if you're not there as someone that they can ask advice for, um, if you're not there for emotional and social stability, they're going to go out and connect with other people. They're going to have this other social and other issues with people. They're not going to be able to connect as well. They're going to have struggles. Now, can they get through it? Of course they can. We all can get through stuff. But let's set our kids up for the best possible thing possible, best possible life is possible. Um, so those are the 3 main items: influence, money, and lastly, um, lack of a quick word for that is social or emotional struggles that they face higher or more likely to face those concerns with not having a good father in their home. If you like this video, please check out other videos in this channel. I'd love to have you here. And in the meantime, go out and do better.